Hello friends, I'm going to give you guys a second to get logged on, and I'm going to grab my coffee. I hope you're doing well. I don't have a lot of stuff with me today. I don't have my laptop, so I can't really see comments unless I'm standing, so forgive me. And I'll have to share this to the creative group later. But there's been a whole bunch of people asking me questions about the new adhesives, and my orders finally came in, and I was able to do, hey Patricia from Indiana, hey Tracy, I'm starting to see some things come through right now. Hi Zahara, great to see everyone. So this is regular Stampin' Seal, and then we have an adhesive called Seal Plus. So it's just got a little plus sign beside it. First of all, side by side, Seal Plus is a replacement for Stampin' Up's old Fast Fuse. And Fast Fuse, some people love it, and for some people, it's the bane of their existence. They were like frustrated and they didn't like it, and it was, you had to have like a certain way that you kind of released it from the paper, or the transfer tape. So the tape sits on this roller, and the transfer tape would pull right off the dispenser. And some of that can still happen with this Stampin' Seal, but I kind of played with it last night when we were on our Monday night meeting, which is fantastic, by the way. And I came up with some tips for you so that you don't get frustrated. But before we do that, I got a couple swap cards in the mail today. And it makes me so happy to get them that I like to open them with you guys live. So this one is from Christine Kilburn. Oh, and she sent an envelope too. She's so cool. So pretty. I love the flowers. Wow. It's beautiful. And that's the new Forever Fern designer paper. Love it. Love it. Thank you, Christine, for the beautiful swap card. Every month my team does a swap. We'll do another one in July for the pre-order, because believe it or not, we're coming out a little early with the pre-order for demonstrators in July. And then this one, oh, this is the one that Mary Jo and I we were working with this week. And I love what she did. Wow. This is from all the way from Florida, Port St. Lucie, Florida. My team member, Wendy Mercado, who is one of the most positive people that I have ever met. Although I haven't met her, so someday we'll get on it. But it looks like she stamped it first and then die cut it out of the background. And then this piece looks like a map coming out from behind the layer. Isn't that awesome? So creative. And she ripped the paper and edged it. Reminds me of that Lost City of Gold movie. Oh, one of you can remind me what it's called. Anyway, yeah, what a great idea. I love I am so in on the torn paper. But Mary Jo knows that. That's too funny. Oh, and actually, she gets extra points because Wendy actually gave us a supply list. So if you want the supply list, just pause the video and you can come back to it and know what she used to make that card. Very cool. Thanks, guys. All right, so let's start with the Fast Fuse versus Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm going to put the other seal to the side for now. So what I noticed right off the bat is Fast Fuse never came with a cover, and it was like if you're traveling with it, or if you stick it. I have a large clear mount, a wood mount stamp case that I carry adhesives and basic tools in if I'm going to somebody's house. And this would always get jammed up in the box. So sometimes you'd get to somebody's house and it would unravel on you because it was stuck to something and there was nothing to kind of protect it. Well, this comes with a cover. And when I first tried to put it back together, I tried to do it upside down. So the long side is the side that goes on. I know that sounds kind of dumb, but I put it together wrong, like on two of them, before I realized that I was upside down. So don't be like me. So side by side, I would say the stickiness value is pretty comparable. This one, you go down the street and see how like it's coming out the top. That happens sometimes. I just put my finger down, and then you have to release to the left or the right, and you're used to doing this flick thing. And if for some reason you fling, the adhesive goes back up inside the unit. And it happened, and people got frustrated with it, and they discontinued it because they were probably replacing more than they could make any money on. So that was kind of bad. So you can see the line of adhesive there. And then this is the Seal Plus, which is about the same sticky level. And you can see that my adhesive is not at the top, which isn't a big deal because once again, you just have to kind of fast forward until you hit the adhesive, and I can feel it, it's sticky. So for this one, instead of going down the street and going to the left or right, now you just have to lift. If you go to the left or the right, you'll again, I'm gonna stand up, you'll again pull that transfer thing right off the roller. So there will be like a little tiny learning curve, but when you come down the street, then you can kind of pull back, and that breaks the seal. Now, what's the difference between this and this? Well, they have the same sticky. This one has a cover, yay, so it doesn't get stuck when you travel with it. And the seal has these little breaks in between each of your adhesive strips. So now, instead of flicking to the left or the right, you can literally pull back and up, and your adhesive should be here at the tip. Now, if it's not, again, just take your thumb and fast forward, and then you're ready to go again. And my advice to anybody who's heavy-handed is you have to lighten up when you're using this. If you press down on this, you're not going to like it. It's not going to be the right adhesive for you. You'll feel like, you know, it'll make you more frustrated, and you'll push down on it more than you need to. So this is as sticky as the old fast fuse. So this is good for putting boxes together. It's quick. You don't have to wait for it to dry. I'm digging it. So I have not opened the Stampin' Seal yet. So this is Seal Plus, so stickier is the plus. And then this is just Stampin' Seal. Now, when I opened the Seal Plus, very much like Fast Fuse when it's new, it seems like they're built so that the tape in it is a little bit looser. So you got to be extra careful with it for the first, I don't know, couple of cards that you make. But this is the Seal plain. And it's very comparable to snail. Hang on. Oh, it's nice and smooth. It does feel a little bit loose. See how the tape is a little bit loose? But that's so that as it starts to wind, and it'll wind onto this side, that it doesn't become so tight that halfway through it ends up breaking. So you end up with it being a little bit loose to start. And then this one, the regular seal, it's not as sticky as the Seal Plus, so it doesn't have the breaks. It's just the straight adhesive, very similar to snail. So you have Seal, which is in the clear container. And by the way, let's say that you try the Seal and the Seal Plus, and you fall in love with Seal Plus, and you stop buying this one altogether, or vice versa. These two containers are interchangeable. So it's our design for the container. Stampin' Up! Owns the design. And you can take a Seal Plus and put it in the dispenser for Seal. So that's good information there. They're both the same size and shape. All right. So that's my take on the new adhesives. I will, once we get back to in-person classes, I will probably be running a special to blow out all of my older adhesives, because I'm probably going to switch over. I think this is going to be my new favorite, the Seal Plus, because I like things extra sticky. Okay, so quick show of hands. How many of you have pets? If you want to tell me what kind of pet you have, a dog or a cat, and what kind and what their name is, we can see. But this is a new Pampered Pets set from Stampin' Up. It comes with 5 dies. It's a bundle. And this one cuts out these, it looks like a little dog tag. In fact, I ran this through the Big Shot before I got on, and it's the only thing I've done with this set so far. And I then punched it out with the heart punch. So I ran it through the Big Shot to get the paw prints out of it, and then punched it afterwards. Isn't that cute? Could you see it like hanging from a real dog's neck? Oh, you have 2 poodles. Oh my goodness, mini poodles. Bella and Riley, how sweet. Oh, I love it. Okay, so this is me on the couch at night after everybody's gone to bed. And this is my daughter when there's a butterfly or a moth in her room. And because I don't have any pets, so I'm just going to go with, and this looks like my husband. Linda McLaren, you can justify that. Doesn't that look like a Brian dog? So cute. Anyway, a few of these match up to the designer paper. So I was looking through the designer paper, and this guy you can also cut out of here. So that has definite possibilities. And then of course there's the mouse. So either that cat is horrified and afraid of the mouse, or if he's like my daughter Alexis, it's the butterflies. That's hysterical. I'm calling her out. She's going to be horrified. I'll pay for the first therapy session. She's 15. She can take it. So here's the second set. Here's the back. Oh, look, it's so cute. It's like, they're like real red stripes. It's funny because when you put it that thin, it almost doesn't look like red. It almost looks like cherry cobbler. Oh my gosh, look at that big Marmaduke dog. I love it. And then, oh, look at the pattern. How adorable. It's like an eye chart, but it's adorable. I mean, how many little hearts on that one? And then this one, was this the one? Nope, this isn't the one. I'm looking for the one because there's another cat one that has a die cut. So you can die cut the paper. There it is. That's the kitty that's scared of the butterflies. That's right. Oh, and there's the mouse. So, really, really cute. And then the back side again. Fishes and hearts and dots. So cute. So a calico cat named Jewel, Cindy. That's cool. I had a calico. I lived with my aunt growing up for a short amount of time, and my Auntie Rita had a cat that they used to call Cat. He didn't really have a name. His name was Cat. But he was insane. He would run from one side of the house at night to the other and back and forth for hours. So that's some of the papers. So there was black with white writing, and now there's white with black writing. They're really adorable. I love the little prints. I've always been big into littles. Okay, so here's a disclaimer about today's video. I am jumping in having nothing prepared because I was planning a retreat at Harmony Hall in Dracut in a week and a half, and got notice last week that the event has been canceled. So I took the whole thing online, and now I am preparing a 40-person retreat that needs to go out in boxes as soon as possible. So I'm spending every waking moment on it from now until it's done. But I'm still going to join you guys on Tuesday. So what I did for today and what I want to do with you guys is talk about the creative process. Quite often when I'm stuck, I'll look at other outside influences before I go to make a card. And today's sketch challenge had me a little bit nervous. This is the Casing Tuesday sketch challenge for this week. So every week we have a sketch and there's measurements on it. So this says 4 3/8 by 3, which sounds kind of like a weird measurement. So I'm going to go 4 3/8, huh? So that's 1, 2, 3. So for you guys that don't do measurements, I'll just come in real quick. This is an old trimmer. This is 1, 2, 3/8. So it's not quite 4 1/2, which I think is kind of a weird measurement. I'm just going to go 4 1/2 by 3. Hopefully I won't pay for it later. And so when you're looking for ideas online, if you run across a sketch, especially a sketch that has a measurement, you don't have to be brilliant. You can come up with cards in a short amount of time if you follow the map, so to speak. So these are saying 5 by 1 inch strips. And the other thing that I do when I'm starting to work is I look at the designer paper that I'm working with and I pull the colors that are in the designer paper. So Flirty Flamingo, Real Red, Soft Suede, Espresso, Black, and Cinnamon. Now, rarely will you see me use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors on a project. It almost never happens. Usually, I pick 2 colors and a neutral. Or in this case, I'm going to go with 2 neutrals because I'm digging the black and red. So I'm going to start there and go back to my sketch. So these are 5 by 1, and I'll trim those off real quick. And when I'm trimming on my trimmer and I have to do 5 by 1 and I know that I need more than 1, I'll do 5 by 2 and then cut it off backwards. Even if I'm doing like 1 1/4, I'll start at 5, then do 3 3/4, then 2 1/2, then 1 1/4, just so that I don't have to pick up the paper and put it back in the cutter over and over again. And I've got my 2 5-inch strips here. So I completely ran out of thick Whisper White paper. 3 cats. Oh, wow, Debbie. That's awesome. I'm allergic to pets, and I love them, and they love me, and no matter where I go, they find me because they know that I love them. But then I have to completely fumigate when I come home and Zyrtec up because of my allergies. But they do. They come and find me, and they rub up against me because they know how much I love them. I had an Angora kitten named Lawrence when I first moved out of my parents' house into my own apartment. And I had to give him back, and I was half crying because I was already attached, and half sinus infection. Sad day. But I do love other people's pets. Kids, we'll call them kids. Okay, so we've got 5. So this might be a little bit long for me because we went 4 1/2. I think I actually want to cut that to 4. I want to see more of the red. And so that's another thing. Like when you do a sketch challenge, it's just that. It's a sketch challenge and it's a jumping off point. So if it doesn't float your boat, change it. Oh, you had cats before your allergy. Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. So here we go. I'm going to use the Seal Plus to put this together. And notice I'm trying not to flick. Old habits die hard. All right, let me see. What would be much easier is if I had like a ruler. So here's another little secret. My scoreboard is just about always on my table when I'm designing. So this is 4 1/4, and I want a 1/4 inch border. So I'm gonna put this down at 4 because I'm at 2. And then now I know that they'll be equidistant without me messing with it. And I can just do it visually. Oops. It moved. Gosh darn it. Yeah, sketches really rock my socks. And it's something that I'm so comfortable with it that I feel like I can do a video on it, even though I am in mad prep mode. I should probably show you some of my sunshine, but I don't want to spoil the fun for the people that are coming to retreat, because there's a lot of surprises coming their way. Isn't this cute? You could use either side of this. It's so cute. But I really like the contrast of the black and red, so I'm going to go with that for now. So we've got this. Okay. So let's come back to the sketch again. And these are 3 1 by 2 3/8. What do we want to put on top of that? You know, so this sketch came from an actual card that was made in the catalog. So let's take a look with that. So they stamped some skinny little images, and our guys aren't really skinny. So maybe we'll go back to, oh look, and they put a cross section and a bow. So we could cut off the same paper. We like those other images, so we'll go, it's wonderful, Jen. I really, really like it. So we're gonna go 2 3/8. Here, I'll bring this back in. I was going by the sketch by 1, so 2 3/8. So that's 1/8 because it's 2 lines. That if there's 16 lines between 2 and 3. So 1/8, 2/8, 3/8 again is just is what it is. Okay, so I'm gonna cut that off and push it to the side so that I can go 3, 2, 1, because these were 1 by 2 3/8. So cute. And they're upside down. I cut them right in a row, so they should be lining up here. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. And honestly, this is not something I would normally do, lay designer paper on top of designer paper, but it is kind of fun. So now that I have it all worked out, when I was in art school, my the professor that taught typography taught me that when you go to put something on anything, like if you're gonna mat artwork on a board, that if you do 3 sides equal, that it's always gonna look right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do both of the outside panels. And again, pull back, don't go to the side. I'm gonna go 3 sides equal on this side. Whoops, jeez, I moved it, sorry. Good like that. And honestly, my eyes are starting to hurt me. I gotta move this paper. I'm bugging out here, let's see. Okay, so we have that. How cute. I kind of like this one. So it's been a while since I showed how to handle your stamps when you open them. So let's get a pair of rubber scissors and I'll show you. Not to mention, like, when I teach a class, I really like them to be trimmed. So the stamp has a foam underneath it, and the foam supports it against the block, okay? So when I go to trim my stamps, I do want to trim just the little plastic edging around the side of the stamp, because that is the stuff that gets in your way if you end up with halos or you push a little too hard. In classes, I almost always have my stamps trimmed, because if I don't, and Susie, new stamper, comes along and doesn't have you know, doesn't know how to stamp and she pushes down into the ink pad too far, she can get that halo and catch these little edges, and it ends up on her project, so she gets frustrated. So trimming the edges, and you know what, I think I'll be fine. But trimming the edges of your stamps, that's why you do it. And I've been cutting like a mad woman, so I just pulled this out of the trash. I have the recycle bin right beside me. Okay. How cute. I know I inked it up backwards. I do that sometimes. You know, only when you're live. I'm going to flip it over because it's a little crooked for me. That's better. Okay. So here we go. Hey, Sue. Hi, Robin. So I'm going to cut these at an angle because I think it adds some interest. And this was a little bit big. And I could put it on the paper trimmer and trim it, but I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. We are crafting after all, so we'll just give that a quick trim. So I did a full and complete review of the new adhesives at the beginning of this video. So if you guys are just popping on and you missed it, feel free to watch the replay just for the beginning so you can see the review for that. I've had a lot of people asking me what I think, and nothing better than just showing you. Okay, so we got this. Oh, isn't that fun? But you know, I like it, but it needs something. It's not popping because of all of those patterns, so I'm gonna just put another layer. Why not? I'm gonna pull this down and give it a quick trim. I didn't measure, by the way, if you were wondering. I just kind of eyeballed it. About that much. And I like that. That's kind of fun because it's going to run right into the red. And now I don't like it because it's too thick. You know. Us paper crafters. Well, I know I'm picky sometimes. But that's okay. We'll just get it down a little bit more so it looks right. And you know, if at first you don't succeed, just cut another piece of paper. It's not the end of the world. I needs the red there though to so it pops. And here's that seal again. And again, I must have flicked to the side because I didn't end up at the end. But again, if you flick back instead of to the side, you'll be fine. I like that little edge. Okay, so this particular, my daughter put all my ribbon away for me, so give me 1 second. This particular suite actually has a ribbon that matches it. And we had ribbon on the original card. So yeah, you know, I did sort of case it. I did sort of not case it because I used a sketch. I was inspired by that sketch. And it was on page 55 of the annual catalog that just came out. By the way, if you're a customer of mine and you order from me, don't hesitate to ask me for a catalog if you don't have one. I ordered 16 boxes to start, and I still have a few of them. And I like bows. You know, wouldn't this be fun, like, as a double bow? Hey, Shirley. Yeah, Shirley, what you missed is I went over the new adhesive. And I went over my creative process a little. I love sketches. I use them all the time. Let's make a double bow here, just for fun. I'm going to use both ribbons together. And this is just a bow maker. You can, if you don't know how to make a bow with a bow maker, I would Google fork bow. Any fork with 2 tines is a bow maker, essentially. I make pew bows on command at church if somebody holds up their arms for me and they have big ribbon. Let's see. Oh my gosh, look at that bow. It's so grand. I might be a little bit too big for our card, but I'm just having fun because this is the first time I've played with this suite. And I know that the original bow was over here, but yeah, not happening. I think I'm going there. See, that's what I mean. Like, you start off and you take the idea as a jumping off point and then you work with it. Let me see if I can move this up. And then you work with it and get it to where you want it. So I'm just going to take a glue dot and ball it up with my finger so that it doesn't show from behind the ribbon. I don't usually touch glue dots if it's a bigger ribbon. I'll just pick up the glue dot and then with the ribbon and then touch to the paper. But isn't that fun? So that is it for today. We went over the new adhesive and I gave you guys a walk through with the Pampered Pets stamp set and bundle. It's so pretty. I love all the colors, and the black and red is especially striking. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much, everybody. See you soon.